Hello and welcome to the Amaka BK Talk Show. And today's my monologue, the Macalicia Reflections. On Macalicia's reflection today, my monologue, I want us to reflect on mediocrity. What is mediocrity? Mediocrity is, let me read it out the way I wrote it down. Mediocrity is the lack of logical evaluation of a thing, a person, a situation, or a circumstance. Lack of logical evaluation of a thing, a person, and a situation. That's mediocrity. Who is mediocre? Anyone can be mediocre in a situation or from time to time. There are times when we say, shush, oh, I missed that. Oh, I didn't think right. Oh, what was I thinking? Oh, damn. Yes. Well, if it's not a major incident or a major problem, then thank goodness. How about when it's a major error that we have made as a result of mediocrity? We didn't judge, we didn't evaluate the situation or the problem or the thing or the person critically or logically. We probably evaluated the situation from our emotional perception or our sentiments. Sentiment is another bad thing. And that's why a lot of people or some people find themselves mediocre as a result of sentiment. When people are being sentimental, you're maybe joining forces with somebody without fully understanding the problem or the situation, or without fully asking reasonable questions and leading questions to help you understand what's going on and how to act accordingly. Sentiments is something that have caused a lot of people, or rather, would I say caused a lot of problem in relationships, in business ventures or business partnerships, and even in our public system, political system, social system, society in general, where someone is giving someone a pass because they are known to them or they're friends with them or they're family with them, talking about sentiment, by the way. And other cases where someone did not logically / critically evaluate the problem, and then they act either too quickly or don't act at all, or act too late, or act wrongly. What do you think is, or what areas of your life or problems or issues or things do you think you're mediocre? There are times too that we are mediocre in financial knowledge. Some of us are quite mediocre where it concerns finances. We don't ask the questions that we need to ask. We don't do the things that we need to do. Maybe we miss deadlines sometimes. Maybe we don't act quickly, promptly, when that's what's required in the situation or in the circumstance. And what happens? If it's regarding finances, it's either you're losing money or you're owing money. You fall in debt or you're losing money. Or, yeah, or you're lacking. You're not going to get money. You're not going to get the money, right? There are times too when we, as a result of mediocrity, we don't calculate how much we are spending, how much we are giving versus how much we are getting. In this regard, at times, it's time. We don't consider how much time we are putting into a thing versus how much time we are getting out of it. Some people will say time is money, and I agree. When we talk about time is money, in the area of mediocre, where we don't calculate what time, how much time we are spending in this environment or to achieve this thing or to acquire this thing versus how much we actually acquire, how much we get out after much investment of time. That is in itself mediocre. Mediocrity a lot of times happens also as a result of us not asking the why questions. If you knew why you had to, let's say, okay, let me, which area should I use, for instance? Okay, yes, if you knew why you had to, say, spice your meat when you're cooking the meat versus not spicing the meat and just cooking it right off and, you know, getting it out of the pot and trying to spice it afterwards. If you knew what the spices did to the meat, you probably understand why you have to spice the meat, right? Before you cook it or during the time that you're cooking it. But if you don't understand why, or you don't ask the why question, you probably do it differently. It can also go, you can apply this into or to many different things, or, you know, things that we do on a regular basis. For instance, this might be a little sensitive for some people. I apologize, please. Apologies if, you know, you're taking offense to this from, you know, crossing the line. There are times when we not apply, but accept certain jobs without calculating what this job is doing for us. Rohn, a motivational speaker that I follow, his talks, bless his soul, he said, don't ask what you're getting out of your job, but ask what you are becoming out of your job. A lot of times people take jobs for money reasons, for money purposes. Yes, it gives you a lot of money, but have you asked yourself, have you paused to ponder what that job is making you? Some people become very angry, very sensitive, very agitated as a result of their job. They get easily agitated because, you know, their job makes them to become very, stressed out, very, very stressed out to a point where they become easily agitated. But this is a job that makes them a lot of money. There are jobs too that take parents away from their children, from their family, and then it becomes a problem either for the other parents who, you know, may have an issue with the parent who is always busy, who is always out of the home, not being available to the family. There are times also when you're making a little bit of money on this job, but this job is taking too much out of you, might be taking too much of your energy, too much of your time, stresses you out. It doesn't even give you so much. There are other options that you could have explored, but you refuse to explore the options because either you fear to change, or you fear that it won't work out, or you're not taking into consideration how you're being stubborn is affecting every other person around you, you know, your relationship, your family, your other interests. Mediocrity is seen in so many areas of our life and our day-to-day activities and day-to-day engagement and our interests. What I'm addressing here is when you are doing anything that you're doing, or you're set out to doing anything, pause and ponder. There are times also in terms of the mediocrity, and when I say pause and ponder, I mean pause, ask yourself, what am I getting out of this? And what am I giving to get it? Is this costing me my life? Is it costing my health? Is this challenging for everything? Like, is it challenging for my relationship? Is it challenging for my family need? Is it challenging for my financial need? Ask yourself those questions. These are viable questions that will enable you to make the right judgment, to make the right decision. Be logical in your thinking. Don't be too emotional and, you know, carried away by emotion. it's not right. If you're carried away by emotions, then you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You may not realize the mistake that you're making, but it's going to cost you even much more in the future and in the near future. It might cost you good friendships. It might cost you good relationships. It might cost you good opportunities. It might cost you good business adventures. It might cost you good partnerships. It might cost you even good homes. It might cost you a whole lot of things, and that's when you go back in time, like maybe in the near future, you look back and you say, oh, had I known, oh, now I regret, oh, now I knew that I didn't know better at the time. I was immature, I was naive, I didn't know better, I was uninformed. That's why we have to avoid mediocrity. Some people level down as opposed to leveling up. We are meant to level up. We're not meant to level down. Don't level down. Once you catch yourself in the circle, trying to level down and seeing that you're leveling down, pick yourself right up, pick yourself right up, pick yourself right up. Snap out of it. Don't level down. Instead, level up. Leveling down is doing the least, doing the barest minimal, doing the unnecessary, doing the unnecessary, engaging in time-wasting things, time-consuming things that give you nothing, that promises nothing, that doesn't give you any future potentials, that does not promise anything. It doesn't promise fulfillment, doesn't promise anything, but you're busy engaging in that. Sometimes it's gossiping, sometimes it's fighting, sometimes it's bickering, backbiting, all manner of nonsense. Betrayal. Some people have lost quality friendships as a result of mediocrity, because they think they're smart, they think they're right, they think they're... Some people stopped growing from the time they finished school. They don't learn anything beyond that. They haven't done anything in terms of personal improvement. They haven't learned anything to help them to deal with people, personal, emotional psychology and emotional quotient. Scoring very low there, don't know how to handle your emotions, don't know how to handle your stress, don't know how to take care of yourself, don't know how to act around other people, don't know how to think and reason with people, don't know how to talk to people, still acting like a child, acting crazy, mediocre, and what's it called, immature. After a while, you have to know that maturity is of the essence. You don't act the way you could have acted 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You don't go about being silly, being mischievous, not thinking before acting, not planning before setting out. How do you set out without planning? You're going to encounter major problems. That's a fact. You're going to encounter major problems, and those major problems will point you back to your planning skills and how you lack that. Because if you're good at planning, you will know when to act, how to act, at what level and what speed. And the limits, you also know your limits. Know your limits within your own self and know your limits with other people. Don't do anything until you have asked the why questions, until you have asked leading questions, until you have done your research, until you have, involved anyone and everything that needs to be involved to getting a clear understanding on why this and how this and when this and, who should be involved or who should be contacted or who should do what. Don't just do things like people who are not thinking. Open the logic, open your logical instincts or whatever. Yeah, again, be instinctive. Open your logical sense and review, evaluate, critically analyze things before your money goes into it, before your time is invested into it, before your words go into it, your thoughts go into it. Critically analyze it. Sometimes you people fall into trap. You fall into a trap I mean, I'm, equally guilty of that. We fall into traps sometimes because we don't pause to ponder. We don't ask ourselves, why is this happening? Why is someone pulling me to this direction? Why, do I have to be told this? Why do I have to see this? Why do I have to be invited here? Why do I have to be involved here? What's the essence of me being invited into this, or me being involved in this, or me being a part of this? You have to ask, what's the essence? If it's not serving the best purpose, if it's not clear to you, then excuse yourself from it. It might be a trap. You can't just be too overly excited and you don't look very clearly, you don't evaluate very critically, and then you end up in trouble. And sometimes it lands you in financial trouble, or emotional trouble, or psychological trouble, or medical trouble. Be very careful, be very cautious, and don't be a mediocre. Pause and ponder, ask questions, or pause to ponder, ask questions, evaluate the circumstances, be very logical, be very intentional, and stay out of trouble. Be wise. That's the word. Be wise. It's one love again from your amiable host, Amaka Beke, on my monologue, Beke Makalisia Reflections. See you again soon. Please, if you love our content, share it to your friends and your associates, and also subscribe to our channel. Thank you again.